Okay, so today we're talking about team healing. It's near and dear to my heart. I believe firmly that people and teams can find ways to connect with each other, even when there's a lot of conflict, even when it feels really toxic. I think there's a way to hit the reset button enough that you can find ways to connect. So that's really what team healing was built on, was this belief that we have the capacity as humans to find ways to overcome our conflict, our frustration, our anger. Those are all normal human emotions. When people are working together so closely and so quickly, and we see this a lot in hospitals, we see this in law firms, we see this in really any organization where there's just a very high stress, fast-paced environment. There's very little time to slow down and stop and process your interactions with each other. So if there's a conflict, if somebody doesn't treat you very well, whether they're aware of it or not, research actually shows that if a nurse has a challenging interaction with a doctor, and then they have another challenging interaction with a doctor, that it becomes the case that they see doctors overall as challenging to work with. So people start to see other categories of people as problematic, not just the individual. Team healing is a process that Wildfire's developed over several years, working with teams in healthcare, in law, in nonprofits, in other industries, where we help the team to first vent their frustrations. These feelings of toxicity, the anger that exists on teams sometimes, you can't move past the conflict if you can't express the conflict. You can't express the frustration. So we really give people space to vent. That's our first step. And we also talk about accountability. What does it mean to be accountable yourself and to your team who find a way to work better with each other? First, there's venting. You want to know what their values are, what really matters to them. We talk about accountability. And then the next thing is commitments and needs. What can you commit to and what do you need from them? So, if you're a team of nurses and you've had a lot of frustration with the physicians in your department, what do you need from those doctors in order to work better with them, in order to trust them, in order to communicate with them? And what can you commit to them so that they know that you're trustworthy, that you're committed to working better with them? You're willing to listen to their frustrations. We do all of that separately, and then we bring people together and listen to one another's commitments and needs. They can get a summary of the frustrations that the other side has felt, but to look at what are some of the ways that we can commit to working better with each other, and to share those needs, share those commitments, do it based on values, on a shared sense of values. We ask them, what are the values that you bring to this organization? I'm really pleasantly surprised when they realize, these people share the same values that I share, that I have. We really do share a lot in common. We start to build some actions for how the team wants to put those shared values, shared purpose into place, so that they can start to take small actions that build those relationships. When you've had some conflict and you've had a violation of trust, when there's toxicity, in order to rebuild trust, you need to be able to trust and verify. So it's having a set of agreements about how you're going to treat each other and how you're going to work together. So if it means every time you walk into the department, you're going to say good morning to everyone or good afternoon to everybody, that you're going to share information as soon as you receive it, that you're going to provide feedback in a productive, not a negative way, that you're not going to argue in front of customers or patients, those kinds of things are examples of ways that you can set new agreements. The piece is creating connection outside of work relationship, having social moments to connect with your colleagues. So this may sound trivial, but it's not. To have things like new behaviors together to build your relationship and rebuild the trust takes a long time for teams to become toxic, and it takes a long time for them to heal. It makes a big difference. The other piece that I would add is that leadership is an essential component of this process. So you need strong leaders, strong departmental leaders who are committed to a team that works better together, who are committed to healing toxicity on a team, which means that they are, by example, showing some better, more collaborative behaviors, and that they're setting that expectation on the team as well, so that they are really leading the behavior change that sets a new culture, a new tone,